Here we have to find, let's directly go to the question. We have to find the equation of a tangent. So we can see we have this curve here and we have this tangent at the point A. So at this point we have a tangent drawn at the point A, and at the point C, both A and point C are on the y-axis. Y-axis means x equals to 0. So at the point C we have another tangent. So this tangent at C and this tangent at A, they're intersecting and meeting at the point D. This point D is on the x-axis, meaning y equal to 0. And the curve is cutting at the x-axis at the point B. So it's not, you don't have to read the entire question and then start doing the sum. It's often a good idea to just start doing the sum directly. So the main question is find the equation of the tangent at A. To find the equation of a tangent at A, we need the point and with the gradient. So first of all, let's find the gradient. So dy by dx means dy by dt divided by dx by dt. So dy by dt, derivative of a sine t, so a is a, derivative of sine t is cos t. Then dx by dt, so we have a cos 3t, so a is a, derivative of cos theta is minus sine theta, and derivative of the angle is 3, so this would be minus thrice a sine 3t. So therefore dy by dx is equals to dy by dt, which is a cos t, divided by dx by dt, which is minus thrice a sine 3t. So this a and this a cancels, so we get cos t divided by 3 sine 3t. So for finding the gradient, we need to find the value of t at that particular point. Now we know that this time we know the point. The point A has x coordinate 0 and y coordinate half or 0.5. So this time we have the Cartesian coordinate. Now we need the value of t. So y-axis, at the y-axis x coordinate is 0. So at A, x equals to 0. So if I just plug in this, so a cos 3t equals to x coordinate is 0. That means cos 3t equals to 0 divided by a is 0. So we have value of cos theta as 0. You have to have this memorized from C2. So cos theta is 0 at 90 degree and 270 degree. So 90 degree means pi by 2, 273 degree means 3 pi by 2. So therefore t can be pi by 6 if you divide it by 3, and it can be pi by 2. So t has two values, pi by 6 and pi by 2. Now since you have two values, all you have to do is take the first value. So you can take t equals to pi by 6. Let me come here. So when t equals to pi by 6, now we have to find the gradient, dy by dx. It would be minus cos pi by 6 divided by 3 sine 3 into pi by 6. So pi by 6 means 30 degree. Cos 30 degree is adjacent by hypotenuse. That means root 3 by 2 divided by 3. Sine pi by 6 into 3. 3 to the 6. Pi by 2. Sine pi by 2 means sine 90 degrees. Sine 90 degrees 1. So minus root 3 by 2 divided by 3. That means minus root 3 by 6. So when you have the gradient, you know the gradient is minus root 3 by 6. Okay, now we know that the point A, this is actually not, this is from the sketch. It seems as if it is 0.5, but we cannot, it's a good idea to actually find it. We cannot just look at the graph and put the point as 0.5, because this is a point on the curve. So let's find the y coordinate separately and the x coordinate separately. So at t equals to pi by 6, so we know x will be 0, so we have to find the value of y. So y equals to a sine t. So a sine pi by 6. So a sine pi by 6 means 30 degrees. Sine 30 degree is half. So a by 2. So we're going to take the coordinates point x coordinate is 0, y coordinate is a by 2. Let's not write this, we just know that the x coordinate is 0, the y coordinate, let's use this one. So equation of, so let's write the gradient rule. So gradient of tangent equals to minus root 3 by 6. Now we have to write the equation. Y minus y1 is a by 2 equals to m is minus root 3 by 6 x minus x1. So that would be y minus a by 2 equals to minus root 3 by 6 into x, because x minus 0 is x. So therefore y equals to root 3 by 6x plus a by 2. I think I forgot the minus here. This is minus root 3 by 6. Minus root 3 by 6. So it would be minus here, minus. To put the minus here. So that's the thing. That's the equation of the tangent. Question number B says, find the area of the finite region between the curve and the tangent at A and the x-axis shown in the shaded region. So this is what they have to. So let me draw the shaded region here. So we have this, we have the y-axis, so this is the tangent, the curve is like this, so the shaded region is this one. In C2, so this is the line, tangent line, this is the curve, and this is the x-axis. In C2, this is called the type 3 sum, where you have to find the region based on bounded by 3 types. One is the curve, the other one is the line, and the x-axis. So the region is bounded by a curve, a line, and the x-axis. So for this, what we can do here is we have to find the area of this line. So that would be this triangle. So if we find the area of this triangle, we don't have to do integration for this, we can use geometry for this area. So if we know the height, if we know the base, so we can find the area as half into base into height. Let me call this area 1. Then what we can do is we can find the area of this curve from here, from this point 0, from this point to this point B. So if this is A, this is O, and this is D, so the area would be half into OD into OA. Now for the curve, this is the curve, the only way for finding the area is by integration. Let me use a different color here. So the only way we can find the area is by integration. So we can write area 2 equals to limit O to limit B y dx. So this is how we can find the area. And after finding both the area, for finding this region, the region that we want to find, so the main area would be larger area minus the smaller area. So that's how we can do the sum. So let's get back to the sum. So what we want to find for finding the area here, we can find out what does this tangent cuts the x-axis. If we know what does the tangent cut the x-axis, and we know the y-coordinate of A, so half into base into height, we can find the area of this triangle. So we know that the equation of the tangent is this one. So if we write at D y equals to 0, because D means x-axis, x-axis means y equal to 0, so we can write y equals to minus square root of 3 by 6 x plus a by 2. So we can write square root of 3 by 6x equals to a by 2. If we cross multiply, a equals to x equals to a by 2 into 6 divided by square root of 3. 2 3s are 6. We can write 3a divided by square root of 3. So this is the value of x. So that means the area would be half into base OD OD means 3a square root of 3 into height. The height is the y coordinate. We already found the y coordinate, a by 2. This would be a by 2. So if we find the area, this would be 3a square divided by 4 square root of 3. Let me repeat what's happening here. So we have this is O, this is D. D has coordinate x coordinate, D has x coordinate 3, a by root 3, and we have this as a has y coordinate a by 2. So we're finding the area. Let me call this area 1. So half into base into height, so we are finding that area. So this is this area. So the area of AOD, this triangle, we have found using basic geometry, half into base into height. Now we have to find the area under this curve. So we know this is 0. So if this is 0, at 0, if we put y equal to 0, we will find the value of t as 0. So we know at 0 t equal to 0, and we have to find at b what's t equals to. So we have to find where does this curve cuts the x-axis. So let's find the limits here. So this is question number B. We are doing B. So at x-axis y equal to 0. So if you put y equals to 0, so what is the expression in terms of y? So y equals to a sine t. So y equals to a sine t. Therefore a sine t equals to 0. Therefore sine t equals to 0. That makes t equals to sine t 0 is at 0 degree, 180 degree and 360 degree. So we need only 2. So 0 to pi. So the limit of this integration is going to be 0 to pi. So we can write area 2 equals to, we have limit x1 to x2 y dx. That's the area we're looking for. This is the area we're looking for. This is the area. So this is O, this is B. So at O t equals to 0, at B t equals to pi. Remember, we need the first two only. So this is the curve. Curve has y equals to a sine t. This is the equation of the curve, and we are looking for this area. That's what we are looking for. So what we can do, the first thing we can do is the limit. So the limit substitution, we know t equals to 0 and t equals to pi. So the limit has been done. We know now we have to substitute dx. So the first thing we have here, x equals to a cos 3t. So x equals to a cos 3t. So therefore the derivative of x is dx by dt. So a, this would be minus sine 3t into 3. So this would be minus 3a sine 3t. So therefore the substitution of dx would be minus 3a sine 3t dt. Hence let's do the substitution. Area 2 equals to, the limit is going to be 0 to pi, y is going to be a sine t, dx is going to be minus 3a sine 3t dt. If we simplify this, it would be 0 to pi minus 3a squared, a into a is a squared, sine t into sine 3t. Okay, so all set, but one thing needs to be mentioned here. The limit here is from here, origin O. So at O x equals to 0. So we don't know whether t equals to 0, we just know here x equal to 0 and here x equals to something else. We need the limit. So I think we have already done this. So x equals to 0, if we review what we did before, yes, we already know when x equals to 0, t equals to pi by 6. So I didn't notice this because the board was here, out here. So when x equals to 0, one of the limit was x equals to 0. Since we have already found this, so we have to plug this in first. So since we had already found this, at the limit x equal to 0, we know this is t equals to pi by 6. And so the other one here is going to be t equals to 0 because there are three values here. When y equals to 0, meaning at the x-axis, so the value of t is at the x-axis, so one of them is going to be 0. So I guess this one is going to be 0. T equal to 0. It's very important to note whether some value has been found before or not. So that means we have to do a little bit of change here. So when x equals to 0, the lower limit is now going to be okay, so the lower limit is going to be pi by 6 because 0 to b, so the limit is going to be from 0 to b. This is the limit, so it's going to be pi by 6 to 0, pi by 6 to 0. That's what it has to be. Okay, so now we have a negative here. Now the rule is if you reverse or switch the limit, the negative sign becomes positive sign. So if you write 0 to pi by 6, this becomes 3a square sine t cos sine t sine 3t dt. So this is what it becomes. Now how to integrate this? You see, this is sine t and this is sine 3t. So sine t sine 3t, so there is only one sine, so this must be the case. So sine t sine 3t could be something like this. So now we need this identity to do that. So if we can write this sine t sine 3t as cos, we can use the fundamental rule of calculus to integrate this. So we need this identity to do that sum. So if you think about t and 3t, how can we add two numbers and get t, or subtract two numbers and get 3t? This can be done if you think about it. To get 3t, we need 2t and t. To get t, we can do 2t minus t. So if you think about this, we can think of this. Let me write it out here. Sine t sine 3t. I can write this as sine t as 2t by 2 and sine 3t as 6t by 2. Remember, it has to be something by 2. So t can be written as 2t by 2, so that 2 cancels and we get t back, and 3t can be written as 6t by 2. So if we write sine, if we subtract 4t minus 2t, we get 2t. If we write 4t plus 2t, we get 60. So we got our identity. So we can consider this to be the a and this to be the b. So we can write cos a minus cos b. That was the identity. So cos a minus cos b. All we need is a plus b by 2, a minus b by 2. But there's one more thing. There has to be a minus 2 here. So we don't have any minus 2 with this, so we can send this to the other side and write minus half directly. So we can write since there has to be a minus 2 in front and in our sum we don't have any minus 2, we can just send this to the other side and we can write sine t sine 3t equals to this into minus half. So using the identity, 0 to pi by 6 3a square, this into minus half cos 4t minus cos 2t dt. By simplifying it further, we can just 0 to pi by 6 minus 3a square by 2 cos 4t minus cos 2t dt. Now we can one more time switch this pi by 6 to 0, and this would become positive again. This comes in handy. Cos 4t minus cos 2t dt. So this is going to be, if you bring 3a square by 2 outside the integration, this would be pi by 6 to 0 cos 4t minus cos 2t dt. So by integration, this would be 3a square by 2, cos would be sine 4t by 4 minus sine 2t by 2 divided by pi by 6 to 0. If we put the limit 3a square by 2, so this is going to be 0, sine 0 is 0, 0 by 4 is 0, minus sine 0 is 0, 0 by 2 is 0. So we can do this. Remember, this 3a square by 2 is multiplied by the whole thing. So minus, now if I put pi by 6, sine 4 into pi by 6 minus sine 2t means sine 60 degree, pi by 6 is 30 degree, so 2 into 30 degree 60 degree, sine 60 degree is also root 3 by 2, and we have divided by 2. So that means 3a square, now we can write minus root 3 by 8 minus root 3 by 2 divided by 2 is 4. So the answer would be, there is no space here, let me write it here, 3a square by 2 and minus root 3 this and this. Let me do the calculation. So minus 1 by 8 minus 1 by 4, so minus 1 by 8 minus 1 by 4, so minus 3 by 8, so minus 3 by 8 root 3. So we can further simplify and write 3 3 is a 9, a square root 3 divided by 2 8 is a 16, and we have a minus. So we found this value. So to find the actual area, okay, this is so cluttered, I will not be surprised if I make a mistake here, but this maybe there is a mistake here. So after all this, we have to get back to the original. This is A2, so where is, this is A2, then we have A1, so now the area would be A2 A1, the larger area, minus A2. Remember, this was the triangle, this was the area of the triangle that we found, and this is the area of this that we found. So A1 was 3a squared divided by 4 root 3 minus, what is this? I cannot even read this. This is it 3 minus 3 a square root 3 by 16 minus 3a squared by 16 root 3. So we have to do the calculation. And what was the question? Question was to find the area of the shaded region, so that would be the area of the shaded region. And after that, let me double check. I think I found the mistake here. Okay, the mistake is minus into minus, this should be plus. Okay, I found the mistake. That means this would be 1 by 4 minus 1 by 8. So this would be, let me bring out the calculator, 1 by 4 minus 1 by 8. This is 1 by 8. So that means 3a square by 2 into root 3 by 8. Okay, because the area cannot be negative here, so that's why that's why I was getting concerned about this, because this was coming in negative. So that was the reason. So this would be 3a square root 3 by 16. 3a square root 3 by 16. So 3a square root 3 by, oh, this is correct. So area 1 minus area 2. So now we know what this area is. We can simplify this. One way of simplifying is taking the third, multiplying upstairs and downstairs with root 3. This comes in handy. This is from C1. So root 3 upstairs and root 3 downstairs. So what happens? 3 into root 3 is 3a square root 3. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. 4 3s are 12. So that means if we take 3a square root 3 common, it will be 1 by 12 minus 1 by 16. So that means 1 by 12 minus 1 by 16. That will be 1 by 48. So this will be 3a square root 3 by 48. If I cancel this, 3 1s are 3, 3 6 are 18. This would be a square root 3 by 16. Okay, so this is the area of the shaded region. So we finally did it. We found the mistake. Actually, I found the mistake. We didn't find the mistake. So that was the shaded region. Okay, now we have to find that the total area. Remember, total area, we just found this one. This is what we found, this one. The total area, this and this is mean if you find this area into 2, so the area into 2 would give you the total area. So we know, so area equals to 10. So total area is 2 into, where is the area we just found? It will be difficult to find here. Okay, got it. A square root 3 by 16. A square root 3 by 16 into 10, because that region only found this much. Only this much. And the total area is both this and this. So you take this and this into 2, they are equal. So from here we can do 2 8s are 16. So a square root 3 equals to 80. Therefore a square equals to 80 divided by root 3. Now we can do the calculation very easily. We have to find the value of a. So we have to find the value of a, has to be in positive values. So 80 divided by square root of 3, that would be 46.188. 46.188. Therefore a equals to square root of 46.188. Obviously these are not exam type sums, but it helps you if you do the difficult sums. It gives you an idea of the easier sums. 6.796. 6.796, that is the value of a.